Baltimore Ravens had a 10-day break. The division was on the line. They were playing at the crib going against Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they ended up falling short, 27-22. And I'm here to share my post-game thoughts on this game, which was a very, very disappointing loss for the Baltimore Ravens. Before we get into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn your notifications on, because this is going to be a very busy week and I don't want you to miss anything. Also, leave a like on the video because it helps out the channel a ton. Getting straight into it, let's just get into the calls, because that was one of the biggest parts of this game. And obviously the Isaiah Likely, the touchdown that wasn't a touchdown. Initially, I was like, hold up, yeah, I can understand why the refs ruled it that way, because Isaiah Likely caught the ball in the air, and then he got 1 foot down, then he got a 2nd foot down. But then on that third football move, that's when the defender knocked it out of Isaiah Likely's hand. Okay, they ruled it an incompletion. But then some people were like, no, wait a minute. But what about toe tap touchdowns? And I was like, nah, what you mean? But with a toe tap touchdown, you just catch the ball, you get 2 feet down, that's it. Touchdown. That's the end of the play. Now, I wonder if the NFL is just like, you know what? Since with the toe tap touchdowns, there's not that same level of contact from a defender. Maybe that's why they ruled it incomplete, since Isaiah Likely did have the defender on him and he knocked the ball out. But it should have been a touchdown. It should have been a touchdown. Because Isaiah Likely, he caught the ball and he got not one, but both feet down. We've seen times when guys get a knee down, guys get a butt cheek inbounds, and it'll be ruled a touchdown. But for whatever reason, the official decided to unrule Isaiah Likely's, what would have been his 2nd touchdown of the game. That was game changing. Another big call in this game that literally altered the game a lot was the Aaron Rodgers interception, because Aaron Rodgers dropped back. He threw the ball. I think it was Okoye that swatted it. Then it came back to Aaron Rodgers, and he was trying to catch the ball, but then Teddy Buchanan was right there too. Aaron Rodgers had one knee on the ground while he was trying to catch the ball and trying to get possession. He didn't have possession of it. So Teddy Buchanan was fighting with him. Aaron Rodgers was fighting with him. Teddy Buchanan went down to the ground and took the ball away from him. Turnover. Ravens get an interception. But the refs, they say, hey, turnover, Ravens ball. But then they did a review, and they say, you know what? Aaron Rodgers actually had possession of the football. He didn't, but that's what they said. Another significant game-changing call was special teams. So we had a huge one on offense, a huge one on defense, and then the special teams. And they actually happened in reverse order, because I believe the special teams one happened first. But anyway, it was on Travis Jones. It was on a field goal. The Steelers kicked the field goal to, I believe, extend their lead. Travis Jones obviously trying to block the field goal so it can be no good. But they called that play unnecessary roughness, because he made contact with the snapper. That rule is so weird, because and not even just saying this for the Baltimore Ravens, just in general, because the snapper, they can snap the ball and then they can block. They can engage with defenders, but the defenders, they can't engage with the person snapping the ball. It's the weirdest thing, and it's like, how are you supposed to avoid him, especially if you got guys lined up next to him that you're trying to rush through? It's just, and that ended up taking the Steelers 3 points off the board, and then they ended up getting a touchdown. So again, game-changing calls that literally made such a huge difference and huge impact in this game. Now, I will say that this game was not all on the officials. A whole lot of it was. And what's crazy, too, what makes it even worse, is that I have seen and talked to a lot of Steelers fans ever since this game ended. And they have all said the same thing. Every last one of them. They said they know the refs. Oh, they had it in for y'all Baltimore Ravens. I don't know what it is. And there was even a less maximum call where DK Metcalf, he beat Marlon Humphrey, and then he gave him a little push off. You know, the one that they called on Zay Flowers last week, but in the same game last week, they didn't call it on Jamar. That same push off, and they didn't call it, of course. But it was just one of them games, man, where literally everything just felt like it was going against the Baltimore Ravens. So what can you do, though? What can you do? Let's just move on to Ravens offense. So Baltimore Ravens offense, they faced a situation where they weren't getting into the end zone. It was a lot of the same old stuff. They will make a few plays here, a few plays there, but they just were not scoring enough points. Started the game off slow, and then in the end, it ended up being too little, too late. Again, there were the calls and stuff that really changed some stuff too. But the Ravens offense overall has still been struggling. In this game, there was started off with Lamar Jackson. I thought in the beginning of this game, he started it off so sharp. He was looking really, really good. He was moving around well. I feel like his pocket presence is it's much, much better than it's been recently. I felt like his just ability to evade the defenders and make people miss it's getting better and better every week. He's getting healthier, and he showed that he was getting healthy. He was taking off a bit more in this game, not too much, but a bit more. So I'm like, oh yeah, we not at that old Lamar thing back yet, but he's getting there. But then there was that back-breaking interception to where he was hesitant and he was indecisive on that play. And we've seen him make that play and plays like that a million times to where is he going to run? Is he going to pass? He may wait a little bit, then decide, oh, you know what? Let me just throw it up to somebody. And he was doing that with Rasheen Ali because number 42 for the Steelers was in front of Rasheen Ali, but Jalen Ramsey was behind Rasheen Ali, and Lamar was trying to get it right in between both of those two. He floated it up, and 42 on the Steelers, he just made an excellent play. Ended up picking that ball off. So that was just a great play by him, and just a bad play by Lamar Jackson. Other plays in this game were just some drops and incompletions. Zay Flowers, he had such an up and down game, a lot more ups than downs. But when we talk about the negative from this offense, he had a drop where just running right in front of Lamar Jackson. Lamar threw it to him, and he just dropped it. And then there was another strike that Lamar threw to him, maybe about to like 20 yards, but then he just got 1 foot out of bounds. And then, there was another pass early on in the game. I think it was the first drive of the game where Lamar, I think it was more so on Lamar. Lamar threw it more to the inside and Zay Flowers was more to the outside. So maybe if Lamar would have put it more to the outside, then Zay Flowers could have possibly had a touchdown on that play. But one thing I will say, and we said this during the stream, with Zay Flowers, man, especially over these past couple of weeks, I have been seeing like a different Zay Flowers, a Zay Flowers that has just been getting up, like going up and showing like more effort than like he's really been getting after. So shout out to Zay Flowers. But a lot of people say that Zay Flowers is not wide receiver one. He don't got wide receiver one potential. He's too small to do it. But Lamar, he shows like he don't care about none of that stuff. Yeah, he don't care when people say, Zay Flowers not on number one. He ain't worried about that. He makes sure Zay Flowers going to be a number one receiver in this offense. Because Zay Flowers today, he had 8 catches for 124 yards on 11 targets. 11 targets. So, again, one of those targets that he missed was a drop. Another target that he missed was when he had the foot out of bounds. And the third target that he didn't complete, it was the deep ball. So yeah, those are those 3. Every other target, they got it. So Lamar Jackson and Zay Flowers have this. They got a really, really good connection. Obviously, especially if we can remember every single incompletion that Lamar threw to Zay Flowers. So yeah, they got it. And Zay Flowers in this game, he just continued to show like he sees the field different, obviously, than we as fans do, but he just sees it in his own way because we could be watching the game and be like, Zay about to cut up field, Zay about to do something. But Zay Flowers, the way that he looks at it, he's looking like, all right, who am I going to make miss? Where am I going to cut back? Because there were a couple of plays to where I was thinking, Zay Flowers, what are you doing? What is going on? But then by the end of the play, it's like, okay, Zay Flowers, you got it. So shout out to Zay Flowers. Now, I just wish the Baltimore Ravens, I can't even say find a receiver that will complement him very well, but more so use a receiver that will complement him well. I think that guy was inactive today. But anyway, that's another conversation for another day. In this game, Lamar went 19 for 35, so not pretty. 219 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Touchdown was to Isaiah Likely, and that was Isaiah Likely's first touchdown of the year. It's crazy. It's like with Isaiah Likely this year, you feel for him because everything that his touchdowns that have been so close, they've been right there. It's just the craziest things happen. Obviously, last week he had the touchdown, made a big fumble at the one. Oh, this is tough. And then this week he gets a touchdown, but then on the second one, well, yeah, So it's been crazy to see, man. But yeah, Lamar, he was sacked 2 times for 16 yards. One of those was at the very end of the game. And just to, I hate to fast forward just straight to the end of the game, but the offense on that last drive of the game, they were so lethargic. There just seemed to be such a lack of urgency. They had, a little less than 2 minutes to go. Then the time just kept winding. It's like time was flying, but the offense was just, it did not seem like they were moving like the time was flying, like they didn't have any time left and they had to get all the way down the field. And you would have thought by watching them, if you'd watched this offense and you didn't see the clock, you didn't see how much time was left in the game, you would have thought like they had like 4 or 5 minutes left in the game, the way that they were moving. Just a big lack of urgency, in my opinion. Obviously, I don't know what goes on, the ins and outs, everything that happens in those 2-minute drills, but it just didn't look like they were really fighting like that. It did, and it was crazy to see. I really couldn't believe it. And then for the game to end the way that it did, it's just so disappointing. Because initially watching it live, I'm like, man, what is Lamar doing? What is going on? Why did he take a sack there? You can't take no sack there. And you can't. But then watching the replay, it looked like he thought that he was going to break free from Alex Highsmith. Obviously he didn't, and that ended the game. But you just at least want a shot on that last play of the game. You want a chance. You like, if you're going to go down, you got to go down swinging. You got to just put it up, man. So this was a really tough loss for the Ravens. And with their offense, it was so just up and down. It was really, really up and down in this one. Derrick Henry, I will say, Derrick Henry, the usage, when you look at the box score, 25 carries for 94 yards, average 3.8 yards a carry. Gotcha. There you go. Derrick Henry had a good amount of carries in this one. But at the same time, you look at it situationally. You look at sometimes when they would just straight up take him off the field. And not even just, there was one drive where Keaton Mitchell was getting his in. But no, it was other drives too. They would just remove him. And with Derrick Henry, I still wish that they would stop the third down stuff. And maybe he's tired. Hey, maybe it's something that I don't know. That's what I just want to assume, that maybe it's something that I don't know why they're taking them off on all these third downs and just, I don't know, man. This team, they can be very frustrating with a lot of the stuff that they do. I did see somebody say the Baltimore Ravens, they need to hire Captain Obvious as a coach. And I said, well, that is actually a really, really good idea. Because it feels like there's so many things that are obvious for us as fans. There's so many things that, even us as fans that have never played professional NFL football, that we can see. And then we talk about these things, we think about them, and then when we see stuff happen, we see stuff unfortunately come to fruition, and then so we see some stuff fortunately come to fruition as well. It's like when the Baltimore Ravens do or don't implement a lot of the things that we talk about. If it's something that we talked about that we are not fans of, that we don't like, and then we see it happening in real time, it's like, oh boy, and they still doing it, it's not working out. And then if it's something that we talked about, hey, they should do this, and then we see it and it does work out. And it doesn't always go that way, but it's like we feel like the Ravens should see this stuff. They should know this stuff. It should be obvious to them, but it seems like some stuff either isn't obvious or that they just don't care. But anyway, Keaton Mitchell, he was doing his thing. He was starting to get some more opportunity. Then he got hurt. So I wonder if that's why and there's been no excuse still, but I wonder if that's been one of the reasons why they just won't use him like crazy because they don't trust his lower body. I wonder if that's the case. So again, I don't know, but I just wondered. And thinking about it, because that was his injury a couple years ago. Then his injury in this, because he popped off of that long run, and then he got hurt. Then that was it for the rest of the game. And now we'll find out more about him. Who knows when? So we'll see. So it was the Rasheen Ali show. He ain't getting no carries or nothing, but he only had 1 carry for 2 yards. Lamar, the most carries that he had in a long time, I think. He had 7 carries for 43 yards, and he had got that touchdown early on in the game, and where we needed it. We needed it bad. So, yeah, the offense in this game, again, it was just too little too late, but at the same time, they were up against a lot, man. They really were. They were up against themselves. Going up against the Ravens for the Ravens is very, very tough in itself. But that whole Isaiah Likely thing, especially the timing of it, the situation that it was just so huge, man. That's obviously, it wasn't the end-all, be-all, but with it being late in the fourth quarter, game on a lot, like, it had so much more implications on the game than had something like that happen first quarter, second quarter. Like, the situation of it just makes it a million times worse. But one thing I will say, this offense, this team, you're coming off of a 10-day break. There just seems to be a lack of mental preparation. It seems like this team is still just mentally a ways away. It really does. And these Baltimore Ravens, every single game that passes now, they make it harder to believe in them. Things are not done. It's not over. They still obviously have a shot, but they'll need a little bit of help. But most of the stuff that they can get it done on their own. How likely is that, especially with the way that the offense has been playing and not really putting up too many points? I don't know. But yeah, the offense in this game, it just ended up being too little, too late. Even with all the stuff from the refs and whatnot, it was just too little, too late. But that's been the issue with the offense for the longest. Now, in those 5 games, the defense, they were taking care of business and they were helping them out, making life easy. And the offense was helping them out a bit too. But they were getting away with some stuff in them games. They really were. And we were talking about how the offense just, okay, we got by. And we were talking about how, it's nice to see where Lamar ain't got to be Superman, but the Ravens can still win. Oh, that's a beautiful thing. But the offense continued, and they continued to where, no, Lamar certainly wasn't being Superman, and the offense wasn't going crazy. They were going in the wrong direction. And then they were starting to turn the ball over, too. Because before, they weren't really turning the ball over. Oh, no, but then they started turning the ball over, and then offense is continued to struggle. So, will they make a change there? Could you get rid of Todd Monken? You could, but at this point of the season, is that really going to do anything? It could. Hey, we could have them Cameron vibes, and then, we got rid of offensive coordinator back in 2012. You know what happened? But I think this team has much deeper issues than the offensive coordinator. And Tom Monken is not perfect. He is not. But getting rid of him, I just don't think that's that's the solution. Because this team, they got much bigger fish to fry. Oh, and speaking of that, offensive line. Oh, boy, wow. Man, I hate when, this whole post-game thoughts could end up being on the offense. But I hate people just dogging on Falele every single day, every single week, every single game. But a lot of times he don't help his case, man. He really doesn't. He doesn't help his case. Every game is something, man. And it's something like that sticks out so significantly. And it's like, how is this happening? Again, we as fans, we see it. We talk about it. We talked about it before the season even started. But we knew the coaching staff were going to stick with him. They stuck with him. And it's just been so many low-light plays game after game after game after game after game. And it's like there was a play where they blitzed the Steelers. They blitzed a safety, I think, number 26, I think. And he had blitzed Lamar, and he sacked him. But then you look at the replay, the offensive line, Ravens offensive line, Lamar snapped the ball. So he dropped back. Daniel Falele is not engaged with anybody. He's not engaged with any defensive linemen, not engaged with any outside linebackers. The safety went straight to Daniel Falele. Daniel Falele tried to completely whiffed on it. Like a safety. Daniel Falele is like 6'8", 340 pounds, something like that. He's huge. But the safety literally right by him. Daniel Falele should be able to stonewall that safety. He should be able to put out one arm and just stop. Where you going? But he couldn't do that. Couldn't do that. There was another play where he let somebody else right through. This time it was a defensive lineman, but it's just the thing with Falele that is so like, it's crazy. It's like if you're gonna get into a battle with a defensive lineman as an offensive lineman, all right, you're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some. That's the expectation. You're not gonna win every single one. We would love for you to. We would love for the whole offensive line to, but that's just simply not how it works. You're gonna lose some. But the thing, at least in my opinion, the frustrating part about Falele, the most frustrating part about Falele, in my opinion, is the fact that a lot of times he won't even engage with the defender. He won't even engage with them. So he won't even be touching somebody. Like, they'll literally go right past. They'll walk right, run right past. They'll just go right past. And there will be no engagement at all. No contact. Or if there is contact, it'll be extremely minimal. And it's just crazy. But so that doesn't even give you a fighting chance. It doesn't give Lamar a fighting chance. It doesn't give whoever got the ball, whoever trying to make a play with the ball, whether it's Derrick Henry or somebody else, it doesn't give them a fighting chance because there's just such a lack of contact. And again, an issue all year, but Ravens said, "Oh, we don't care about it. We don't care to address it." So like, we could talk about it every week. We do talk about it every week, but they obviously ain't changing nothing. And today they said, Emory Jones, nah, you ain't playing at all. Zach Orr and Ravens defense. Steelers. Where did I even start? Aaron Rodgers. I don't even really care about the numbers. The only numbers I really care about, he went 23 for 34, 284 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. He didn't get sacked once. Aaron Rodgers did not get sacked. I hate that we have this conversation like every week, man. Every week we had the same conversation. If you go into a game and you wonder who's going to get sacked more between Lamar Jackson and this quarterback, oh yeah, it's going to be this quarterback. Nope. The same thing happened with Lamar Jackson and Jared Goff. Same thing happened with Lamar Jackson and Dylan Gabriel. But certainly Lamar Jackson and Aaron Rodgers. And there's been more too. But Aaron Rodgers' jersey was so clean. He wasn't even getting hit. They were not touching Aaron Rodgers. They barely were. All game long. Aaron Rodgers. Like, in this defense, I was really thinking, especially after the first drive, where Aaron Rodgers ran for the touchdown. I was actually proud of the defense because they did give up a big play. DK Metcalf, he was beating the secondary for a while. Then in the fourth quarter, he kind of slowed that up. But the defense on that first drive, they got down the field. No, excuse me. The Steelers offense got down the field. Then they had a third down, and the Ravens got a stop. So it was fourth down. Steelers went for it. They got it. I think number 83 on the Steelers, he ended up keeping it. And then they went for it. And then Aaron Rodgers, he ended up running in for a touchdown. But I was proud of Ravens defense on that play because they had everything covered. They ain't fall for the play action. They had everything covered. I'm like, okay. So I was thinking, all right, for Aaron Rodgers to get that touchdown, obviously we don't want to give up any touchdowns, but the Steelers are not going to beat us with Aaron Rodgers running for a bunch of touchdowns. So that is a good job by the Ravens defense to be able to hold them because I didn't see it like, all right, well, obviously they gave up a touchdown to 7 points, but the context for me, it was super, super important. So then as the game went on, it was just sad to see how DK Metcalf was just beating our corners, just beating them. And the Steelers just kept going back to him as they should have because the Ravens they couldn't do anything with DK Metcalf. But the Ravens in this one, situationally, like the Steelers, the offense wasn't doing anything special. You look at the run game, 4 carries for 15 yards for Kenneth Gainwell. Jalen Warren, 8 carries for 13 yards. Johnson, 2 carries for 4 yards. Connor Hayward, that's the one that got that first down. The tight end. But yeah, they were not run. They ran the ball. 17 carries for 34 yards. Steelers had 17 carries for 34 yards. So they were not running on the Ravens at all. At all. Now, one of those was a touchdown run by number 14, Kenneth Gainwell. But Ravens' run defense was doing just fine in this one. But that pass defense and that situational defense, especially there was a third down in the second half of the game where it was third down for the Steelers, and Jalen Warren kind of maybe like went on maybe a wheel route, because it wasn't a screen. I don't think it was a screen, but no, not even a wheel route. But it was just a little short route, short stuff. Aaron Rodgers found him, threw it to him. He had so much blocking in front of him. Boom, touchdown. Easy, super easy. And what's crazy is that somebody that was blocking down the field, they were actually like looking around. I think they couldn't believe how open the field was and how there were no Ravens over there at all, because Zach Orr had blitzed Alohi Gilman on that third down. I don't know why. Didn't think it was the best decision. Even when I saw Alohi Gilman coming down. So see, when I saw him blitzing live, I said, oh okay. He's blitzing Alohi Gilman on third down. And I get it. You want to throw them off, but yeah. So not only was Jalen Warren open on that touchdown that he caught, but the tight end, I think it was Freiermuth, there might have been another one, but the tight end was wide open. He was wide open. So he was calling for the ball, and when the ball didn't come his way, he got frustrated, but they ended up getting a touchdown on the play. So multiple guys open for touchdowns on that play. Multiple. It's tough, man. Marlon Humphrey, he certainly been struggling. He's just been getting beat for some big plays recently. It's been tough to see it, man. It really has been. This defense, we just can't get to the quarterback, man. I still don't think the defense is just all bad. Do I think the defense is overrated? Yeah, a little bit. I do think they were a little bit, but at the same time, their biggest issue, in my opinion, because you saw it today, you saw it last week against Joe Burrow just coming back too, is that they cannot get to the quarterback. They can't. That's such an issue, man. They cannot get to the quarterback. They can't hit the quarterback. They can't sack the quarterback. They cannot get to the quarterback, and that brings everything down. Everything. Like with the cornerbacks, they got to cover for longer. Somebody get open. That's that. They can't get to the quarterback. So quarterback has time back there. And if the quarterback got time back there, especially a good quarterback, they got time back there, they going to find somebody. Somebody going to come open for them. Somebody will. And that was another story of the Ravens defense today. Plenty of people end up coming open for them. But yeah, this defense, it was rough, man. DK Metcalf, 7 catches for 148 yards. Yeah. Calvin Austin only had 1 catch for 31 yards, but that was a big catch that he had on Chidobe Awuzie. Big catch. Thank goodness Chidobe Awuzie made that tackle, because it would have been a touchdown, but I guess it didn't matter in the end too much anyway. But yeah, this crazy game for the defense. Not their worst game. The offense did put them in some situations per usual. Offense, they couldn't score points and kept having to punt. But you know what's crazy though? The defense, they forced a punt in the first quarter, and then the next punt that they forced wasn't until the fourth quarter. That's crazy. That is crazy. It's insane, man. So, yeah, the defense, they're definitely a little bit overrated, but at the same time, until they get that pass rush fixed, and I mean, like now, this is week 14. What are you going to do about the pass rush now? You can't bring in nobody. But you're going to bring in a free agent? You ain't going to play them. So, yeah, you can't do nothing. You can't do anything about this pass rush now. This is who you are. It's another reason why the trade deadline, I'm so frustrated with them, because they just really did. They addressed it so safely with Draymond Jones, and he had been doing his thing in the first couple games that he played. He's been doing, but he's still been solid. But that wasn't enough. That was a safe move that the Ravens hoped would work out and pay off, even though they didn't give up much for it. They don't take the risks, and since they don't take the risks, a lot of times Ravens don't get the reward. But another conversation for another video. Let's continue with our post-game thoughts. Ravens special teams. Nothing special there. Shout out to Tyler Loop. He made all 3 of his field goals, so that's good. Didn't miss the extra point, though. Got really windy real quick, and it happens, unfortunately. It is what it is. But our return game is just slacking. LaJohntay West, a pretty quiet day. Had some opportunities for returns, but just couldn't really get anything going. And kick return. Keaton Mitchell had 3 returns for 72 yards. Again, I still don't like him out there. I hate him being out there on kick return. Just not a fan at all. Rasheen Ali, I don't mind him being on kick return, but I don't feel like he's a good kick returner. I wish they would look at somebody else there besides them 2. They're not. It's week 14 again, so they're not going to change anything there, but I just wish they would, because I think other people would be much better suited for that role. Well, now actually with Keaton Mitchell being hurt, who knows how long it's going to be. Hopefully it ain't nothing too crazy. We'll see. But special teams in this one, it's nothing special. Jordan Stout, he had 2 punts for 102 yards. I mean, this special teams. Obviously, special teams still plays a significant role, but I don't even want to talk about special teams no more. This team, they are supposed to be special, but they just these Ravens really trying to break me down, man. They really are. They are really trying to break me down with how. And again, everything wasn't on the players today. A lot was. Everything wasn't on the coaching staff today. A lot was. Everything wasn't even on the officials today. A lot was. It was just all 3 of those things together. And it was like, wow, like this is just a crazy, disappointing game. And Ravens coaching, Todd Monken, a lot of this game I feel like was lost on execution. Again, there was the stuff where Derrick Henry just gets removed from the game. I feel like we're so used to it now, but it still is an issue. So that's a Harbaugh, Todd Monken thing. Keaton was getting used more, so I did appreciate that. But then, he got hurt, so can't do nothing about that. Tez Walker, inactive. Don't like that. Don't like that at all. Tez Walker, somebody who should be active and be on the field. Because Tez Walker can he can give you a lot, man. And he can give you a lot, man. He's a big play waiting to happen. Lamar got eyes for Tez Walker too. He gonna find him. But so yeah, that's offense, defense, Zach Oregon situationally. It just it's a bit of a struggle. Again, some was on coaching, some was on execution. There's a little bit of everybody for the blame on that one. John Harbaugh in this game, he did have a good challenge on the Zay Flowers. Was it the Zay Flowers catch? The Zay Flowers, he caught it. Oh, no, I think the Steelers actually challenged it. Yeah, they challenged it. John Harbaugh had challenged something else. But it was a good challenge. Oh, my goodness. It's not coming to my mind what John Harbaugh challenged. My apologies because I forgot what it was. But, yeah, man, Ravens, the coaching staff in this one. My biggest issue, again, you had 10 days. You had 10 days, and this is what you put out there. It was sad. So again, while this game it got ugly, it never got ugly. It was just really disappointing. It was just really a punch right in the stomach. This one hurt for sure. Their season is not over. I know a lot of people say it is, but it is not over. They still have an opportunity. They obviously got to do a lot of stuff right, which we ain't got that much faith in the Ravens to do, but they still got a shot. So we're gonna ride with them boys. Hey, we're gonna see how this thing goes, man. But we ain't going nowhere. We hope that the Baltimore Ravens actually are, though.